Okay, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyus, your boy Ty here. It is currently 4 something in the morning, I think. Yeah, I think like 4 or 5, whatever. Um, wasn't able to sleep, so because I had a lot on my mind, wanted to just like I guess make a video to talk about it. But all I wanted to talk about was Spider-Man 2. I played it this past weekend. It's actually my first game on my PlayStation 5, which I just got like last week. I finally had time to sit down and play it when it came out on Friday. And I gotta say, man, like for it being my first game on the PlayStation 5, I was definitely like I can't find the words to describe I when I tell you like I was locked in all weekend, I could not put the game down. I'm not joking. I'm not trying to say that like shill or like like I'm a PlayStation fan or just like it's my first game on my PlayStation 5, so I have to say I was blown the fuck away. Like it was just jumping from 30 to 60 frames and just being able to swing around the city, amazing, absolutely amazing. Like it's stunning. It's fun. It was great. I could not put it down. I could not put it down. So basically, I wanted to kind of make a. Cause I had a couple days to sit on it because I beat it Sunday night, but I kind of sat on it for like the past couple days, uh, and just wanted to actually make a little quick review about it. So where can I start? So I guess I'll start with the story. I would say the story is it's good. The story is definitely good. It had a lot of very action packed moments. It obviously was like because you know how Sony PlayStation is with a lot of their games now. It's like it's very cinematic. There's a lot of walking sections and stuff. And this game definitely did have those, but mine is I said probably a couple of them. It wasn't really that you know obnoxious, I guess you could say. Like some of the other like PlayStation games they made or games that PlayStation like they're exclusives basically. So for me, it's like the walking and talking sections like they do add to the story. Minus a couple like I say like Miles's friend Haley, she's deaf basically. Uh, it's a section with her where it's like okay, you meet her at this shop. It's like a side story thing. You meet her at this flower shop, I think, and he finds her. He's like, "Hey, what happened here?" Because I guess because she's an artist because she draws like graffiti and stuff on the wall. So she saw like somebody like spray like graffiti on this shop owner's wall, and I guess she came by to actually correct it and made it like a beautiful flower, like a beautiful portrait and stuff. There's a couple other scenes of her in the game where she's like this carnival, and she has like a bunch of art that she drew like spray painted on walls, just like murals and all that. So basically, what happened was like, he kind of showed up there. And he's like, "What happened? Like, what you doing here?" And all that. And then it's like a flashback, and the flashback is basically from her perspective as a deaf person. So it's like you can't hear anything when you're playing as her, so you're just walking around like you actually are like a deaf person, and all you hear is like ringing and stuff. You hear like faint sounds, but not that much. But it's like it's while like it does add like okay that like that's Miles' friend. It adds a little character to her or whatever. But it's also at the same time you're just like okay, like I don't know, like I didn't really. I wouldn't say I got anything from it. Like I understood. I didn't really get like okay, it's she's walking around the city just correcting different pictures and stuff, and then she finds this one random NPC girl on this rooftop, like, hey, oh, you're a graffiti artist too, and then she helps her out, and then she asks her to join her, like, uh, I guess spray painting club, whatever, and that's the scene. It kind of just go back to the present moment. It's so that's what I'm saying. Like it's stuff like that where it's like it 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 doesn't it's not something like I will be excited to revisit, which I'm going to get into in a little bit. But I understand why it adds to the story, right? So It has a couple. It has the walking talking sections. The action scenes are fucking ridiculous. It's definitely like the one they show with the gameplay trailer where they show like the black suit, with the symbiote black suit and a Spider-Man, or Peter Parker basically, where he breaks out of the basement. A basement. I don't want to spoil, I guess, if you already played the game or not. If anybody decides to watch this, I don't fucking know. But anyway, so like he breaks out this basement, and it's just like in the trailer. He fights all these hunters and stuff that Kraven sent to New York to find different prey for him and stuff like that, because he's trying to find Dr. Connors, to like basically give him a cure to help out another certain character in the story, and basically it's just like all fucking hell breaks loose. He's like they're trying to basically chase Dr. Connors, and the hunters are after him, and it's fucking crazy. So it's a lot of those scenes in the game. Hell, the game starts off with you playing like you're fighting Sandman, and he's literally just like tearing through the goddamn city, and it's just sand everywhere, and it just looks fucking amazing. And I had a great time with this game. I had a great time. I like Venom, because Venom is in this game too. Venom was awesome. Don't want to spoil anything with him again, obviously, but yeah, Venom was fucking awesome. He looked amazing. He was menacing as shit. He was big as hell as he's supposed to be. Obviously his origin is just how I've always been. He came from like this meteor in the sky that he was attached to, which ends up finding out it's like an artifact that the symbiote race is basically kind of excuse me. The symbiote race basically kind of like, it's like an artifact for them, a source of their power. So he came from that, and I guess like Norman Osborn found it and tried to use it for a certain somebody. And yeah, that's how the rest is history basically. So the origin story for him is basically still kind of the same. It's just who he attached to first was somebody completely different other than Eddie Brock. That's all I'm gonna say. So there's that. So Venom was awesome. Kraven was a goddamn menace. He wanted all the smoke. When I say he wanted all the smoke, I'm dead serious. He wanted all the smoke. He literally was just taking out like Spider-Man's villains left and right and center when he had the chance, and it was great. It was great. So Kraven was a cool character too. The way he went out was gangster as hell. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, like it's the story is like pretty like it's pretty straightforward. Like you get what you pay for. I guess that's what I can say. However, I would say this though, and this I don't know, maybe it's just like this is like a me thing, or it's because of like how PlayStation does their exclusive games. They're like story focused and action adventure or whatever. Like I kind of feel like it's a lot of the games that like I'll go through and have fun with, like just a first time basis, but I don't immediately want to go back into the game and like go through certain story sections again immediately. Like I kind of need time to sit on it, basically, I guess, and like let that feeling of like, damn, I haven't experienced this game in a long time. Let me actually go back to it and play it. I feel like, sorry about that. I feel like it's that's pretty. Maybe that's just a me thing, and it's probably just like a common thing. Like I have to give games like sort of like room to breathe, and then I could eventually come back to it. Especially if it's a very story driven, like cinematic type of game, basically. So I don't know. It's probably just a me thing, but I just kind of throwing it out there, I guess. I feel like, but Sony definitely does have like a couple other games. Like I know, like the fact Last of Us 2. I kind of like when I played through The Last of Us 2, I didn't. I don't mean to go on a tangent, but I'm just saying, like, as an example, like The Last of Us 2, I played through it. I did enjoy it, but there's also stuff in the story I didn't really like. So it's like me going back through and on subsequent playthroughs is kind of like I don't want to have to watch this again because I don't like it, because I don't agree with it. So it's like, and I mean, I have the option to skip it, but it's kind of like God of War Ragnarok's kind of the same way. I ain't gonna lie, but anyway, so but for this game, it's like it's a minus a couple sections. Once I kind of give the game a little bit of time to breathe, I'll probably will eventually come back to it. I'll probably play it on like ultimate difficulty, maybe. If they have like DLC that comes out, I'll go back to play that. Which I think they might have DLC. I'm not really sure. I'm assuming they will, like, cause I'm sure the game's doing really well right now. But so anyway, that's a story for me. I feel like it was very straightforward. They nailed the point of what they wanted to tell. It definitely did feel kind of safe. Like it's like okay, um, people you would expect. I would say this. I don't want to spoil it, but like I would say people you would expect that maybe it's just their time to like, go. They didn't go. I guess I could say that. Like it's like you would think like okay, they've been through all this stuff. It's only poetic in a way that they would actually like not, you know, they wouldn't be alive anymore. I guess you could say. So I'll say that. Um, that's all I'm gonna say though. That's not. I mean, that's not necessarily a negative, but more just like it's something I do notice. That's basically it. It's like it's very like point A to point B storytelling. It's like all right, cool. It's what I don't think it was actually exactly like plot twists or whatever, because it kind of wasn't. It was like you seen stuff kind of coming a bit, and then like okay, like you're just kind of waiting for the thing to happen, and that's it. Not necessarily a bad thing, like I said, but it is noticeable. So it is what it is. Um, Ironically enough, it's like it didn't have anything to do with like the main story, but it was like a side story where you're talking with this guy on this old guy on this bench, and he's kind of reminiscing about his wife that passed away and how like him describing love and stuff. Not gonna lie, I kind of got like a little tear out of me because it felt very like just heartwarming to hear. Like you're just sitting at this bench with this random guy and he's just reminiscing about the feeling of love and how like love is like a very like it's a very like Lovecraftian cosmic feeling. Like we can't even describe it, and so that definitely kind of got like it hit a nerve for me. Like I kind of shed a tear a bit, but that's that. Oddly enough, like nothing in like the main story though kind of got that out of me, which is pretty funny, I think. Because it was definitely some moments you could tell they were trying to go for that, but it just I don't know. That's probably just me though. Um, See, overall, I think the story was pretty. The story's pretty good. The story's pretty good overall, minus a couple points, like I said. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty good. The combat is, I would say, I have mixed emotions about it. Like the combat is not bad at all. It's basically the same as like the first Miles Morales, basically. Um, but it's pretty sleek. It's pretty fluid. Um, it's very very smooth. It's like it could definitely get kind of chaotic. I would feel though, like because okay, obviously the combat takes place after like well, not takes place after, but definitely draws heavy inspiration for like the Arkham series with the free flow combat and everything. So it takes beats from that game, obviously, or those games. Um, However, I do feel like it works for Spider-Man just because of how agile and acrobatic he is and stuff like that. So it makes sense why the combat feels how it is. So the combat's pretty sleek, and you got like square just to mainly attack. You got triangle do like a web strike where it zips you to different enemies and stuff. You can dodge like a perfect dodge. You can parry. I think the parry is a new mechanic in the game. You can parry certain enemies' attacks, and do like a counter attack and all that. So I think the only thing that was very Like I can see what they were trying to do. Also, I feel like it kind of made like the gadgets kind of underwhelming. So you have abilities in the game where basically you hold L1 and you press any of the face buttons like square, triangle, circle, X, and you do like a certain ability that Miles and Peter both have. They have their own abilities basically, and they're basically all on cooldowns. And basically you get certain upgrades to where it decreases the cooldown for them. Like if you do finishers on enemies or you KO certain enemies and stuff like that. So it's so they added that new feature in the game. But they also did the same thing for the gadgets. So the gadgets, I think you have like probably like 5 gadgets in the game. You have your web shooters. You have like this. It's like a web zip, like a. I'm trying to think what it is. It's like a vacuum type of gadget where like it sucks. It doesn't suck, but it like snatches certain enemies. It's like this center gadget, and just groups them all together, so you could do like an extra ability on them or something. So it makes the combinations for attacks pretty cool. I found like that's why it's pretty enjoyable to play. But I think the problem is with the gadgets is they streamlined it too much. So like, because I remember it was like I think in like the first game, you had like I forgot how many gadgets you had, probably like maybe 7 gadgets, I think 7 or 8. I don't even remember, but it was a lot of them, and you could upgrade every single one of them. So it was you had a lot of options in that regard. I feel like the necessary thing they could have did was still have you had all them gadgets, but also they added the abilities on top of it. Just like as like a natural progression, because it only makes sense to do that. But I think it's because I think one, they wanted to probably nerf the gadgets in a way, and two, they wanted to streamline it to where it's like, okay, we could put it on the face buttons, and you can activate them by holding like L1 or R1 to do the abilities and the gadgets. So I don't know. I feel like they wanted to just like kind of work around that, but partially I kind of feel like it was just kind of unnecessary. Like I don't know. So I remember in Spiderman 1, you had like a gadget wheel you could bring up, and you could select the different gadgets to use them in combat or even in stealth. So that's probably the only downside I have with the combat. It still feels the same as it was in the first game in Miles Morales. They added like a couple new things to it, a couple new mechanics. That's basically kind of about it. So, combat's pretty fun too. So I give it that. Yeah. So then I guess I'll move on to the stealth. The stealth was definitely. I didn't really think about it at first, but the stealth definitely does kind of feel a little underwhelming, only because like they added this new feature called the web the I think it's with the web zip line or something. Basically, it's like the what's the thing from Arkham? It's basically like that thing Batman has where it's like you have to line up to like 2 different walls, and you can do like this zip line thing where he takes his gadget, he zips on his line that he makes, and you could get to like from one platform to the next. So they took that idea and they're just like, hey, let's just make it to where Spider-Man can just make a line that he could walk on in stealth, and we'll just give him like a web zip line or something like that. So basically, they did that. Now the concept of it is cool because it's like, okay, cool, he's a spider, right? So it makes sense why he'd just be having all these random fucking web lines out and stuff. He could tie enemies up on them like it's a web, it's a spider's nest or whatever. Which is pretty cool artistically. However, though, what they did that, but in place of you having limited gadgets to actually do stealth with. Because I remember, like in the first game, it was like you had this one gadget where you attach it to like the object next to an enemy, and it will zip towards that enemy and then like suck them into the wall and then like tie them down basically or web them up so they're incapacitated. That's gone. I don't know why that's gone, but I think it was a couple other things they had in the first game too, but I'm having a hard time remembering. But so that's basically gone, and just in place of having the web line, so it kind of limits your options a bit in a way. But I don't know. I mean, the stealth is. I don't think the stealth really is like a big component of the game though. So kind of doesn't really matter that much, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's So I do feel like yeah, like Sonic definitely didn't want to focus on the stuff that much. It's more just like swinging through the city and combat, and just the story, and that's basically it. So that's pretty much what it was. Um, so that's stealth. Uh, what else? I'm trying to think here. Just off the cuff. The costumes are pretty cool. Um, the disappointing thing about the costumes though is the fact that unlike the first game where like every costume you wore, they they all had like different abilities tied to them, so it kind of gave you a reason to like actually wear the costume. You're just like, okay, this costume gives you like, I don't know, like 50% more uh resistance of enemies seeing you in stealth or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you wore like the stealth costume, you get like, okay, enemies have a 25% less chance of seeing you or some shit. Like stuff like that. Or this one costume that probably fills your focus meter up faster. You know, and it gives you options essentially, right? Um I think part of me feels like the reason why they did that is because they had like the suit upgrades where it's like, you know, it's like your health, your damage, your focus meter, your traversal. Uh, what else was it? There was a fifth one. I forgot what it was. But yeah, so I feel like they did that because they had the suit upgrade menu and stuff. Which again, it kind of goes back to just the whole streamlining where it's like, all right, we'll just instead of having to be tied down to one costume, they're gonna be purely cosmetic, and we'll just have a menu for a bunch of suit upgrades, and we'll just call it a day. Which I mean, I don't think necessarily is a bad idea. I still think it adds to the formula of like, why not just add to it? You know, like add more to it. Like, okay, you can have that from the first game where if you pick this costume, it has like a special ability set to it or something, and then on top of that have the suit upgrades, just so it could kind of give you more reason to play with certain costumes. You know what I mean? Instead of them just being purely cosmetic, because now you're just kind of getting rid of like a whole like aspect of the game. Like from the first game, that was actually pretty cool when you think about it. Because in this game, you can unlock a costume, and some of them have like different colors you can actually have for the costume. So it's like, I don't know, like it's kind of one of those things. It's like, you know, it's a whatever thing, but at the same time, also it would have been cool if they actually did decide to do that. So I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So that's that. I think I already talked about web swinging. I'm not. I kind of. I kind of just been talking. I haven't really been thinking about what I've been saying. So I think the web swinging is actually pretty fucking cool. Like I ain't gonna lie. It's literally just like, you really do like. I mean, it's stereotypical to say it, but yeah, it makes you feel like Spider-Man basically, because it's like you can It's just when you're swinging around the city, because they also have like the new web wings basically. Uh, which if you're, you know, if obviously if you're a Spider-Man fan like in the comics, you remember when he first debuted, he actually did have like web wings under his arms. So it's actually a cool callback, but makes sense in the grand scheme of like, okay, he has his new gadget. So he can just fly around the city like Superman because he has these web wings and stuff. So it's like they kind of tie it in, actually make it make sense, which is pretty cool. So that's that. And it's pretty fun. It helps you get around the city faster. Uh, it ties in well with like you swinging around the city as well, so you kind of combo both of the things basically. You know, you can glide with the wings and go back to just swinging around, and it just feels so fucking fluid. It feels great. You can do a lot of really cool shit when you're swinging around the city. Um, yeah, like it's again, it's also part of the reason why I just got so sucked into it, because I just it's it's just really fun flying around the city and stuff. Like I don't know, and then New York is very lively, so it's like they did a good job in this game, really making New York like just really pop out. Like it's pretty cool that they decided to do that. My only gripe, and this is something I actually kind of just thought about too, is I think it wasn't the first game where it's like you was able to collect these like mementos or whatever, like collectibles, and it's like different. It's like different references to maybe certain characters or like certain things in like Spider-Man's like world basically. If you're a fan of Spider-Man, and it's just like cool callbacks. Like Peter gives like monologue about it. Like I think in the first game it was like it's this jar of sand, and you come to find out it's really because Sandman is trapped inside there because he was so hard to basically contain. And I think it was like I think it maybe something was like Doctor Strange made this like jar specifically for Sandman. I'm probably just bullshitting. I don't even know, but it was some type of jar that actually kept Sandman inside of it. And then I look at today where it's like, okay, well now you're fighting Sandman in number 2 in the opening fucking scene of the game. So it's like like that stuff was pretty cool. And then at the time also, I think they also had like I guess okay, they brought back like photo ops in the game along with the other like a bunch of other side story stuff. Um and basically but the way they did it was like it wasn't like okay, you're going to like different landmarks around New York that's known to the Marvel universe. It was more like a love letter to New York, I guess. Which, obviously if you're from New York, that's pretty cool. However, if you're not from New York, it's kind of just like, okay, that's interesting. But I think what would have made it cooler is again, I think they had this in the first game and in Miles Morales, if I'm not mistaken. They had different landmarks in the game, like because they have Avengers Tower in the game. They have like Sanctum Sanctorum for Doctor Strange. I think they even have the Baxter Building for the Fantastic Four. So it's interesting, like if they like these landmarks are there, but they're not really that interactable with. You know what I mean? Like it's even a reference to it's even like a I wouldn't say it's a reference, more just like it's a. I'm trying to think of the word. What is it? It's like a. It's like a memorial. Is it memorial? I'm gonna go with. It's like a memorial to like Chadwick Boseman, who actually like tragically passed away, because he played he played T'Challa, Black Panther. So it's an Easter egg in the game where it's like the Wakandan embassy, and if you play as like Miles Morales, and you find it, and you find the embassy, you can actually like walk up to him. He does like the Wakanda Forever salute. So it's a pretty cool thing that's in the game, but it's like you have to go out your way to actually find it. Like they don't actually like make landmarks like a thing. That's basically kind of my point. So that's kind of one of the gripes I have with like you having like you traversing around the city and making like like New York very lively, is because within the actual Marvel universe, there are landmarks in the game that you can actually literally swing the Avengers Tower, climb at the very top, and jump off of it. So it's like the landmarks are there for the Marvel universe sake, but they're not really interactable with. You know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of one of my only gripes. But other than that, it's still fine. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's going 30 minutes now, so this is pretty long. But I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts out about the game and kind of give like a little quick review. In the end, like overall, I had a blast with the game. I wouldn't say it's a call off of work type of game. I would definitely say it's a lock yourself in for the weekend and play the hell out of it type of game. You just shutting everything down. You get yourself like a bunch of snacks and you just in for like an adventure. You just swing around the city as Spidey and Miles Morales, both of the Spideys. kick a bunch of ass. You know, like it's just it was a good time. It was a good time. I don't actually regret actually playing this game whatsoever. Um, and I'm sure at some point in the future, if I want to experience it again, I'll go back and play it. And obviously the DLC if there is DLC, so I'm sure it will be. I'll play that too, obviously. Um, yeah, I think so. If I'm going to give it like I guess a 1 to 10 on a scale of 1 to 10 rating, I'll probably give it like a good. I give it a good 9, man. I get like yeah, a good 9 out of 10. It's definitely worth playing for sure. It's like yeah, like it does have its nicks and hiccups for certain things, like for certain decisions they made for the game, and like certain story beats, like I said, some of the walking and talking sections, just like all right, whatever. But overall, I still enjoyed it. Like it's still an enjoyable game to play. You know, it's yeah, like it's. I think it's definitely 9 out of 10. Honestly, that's just my honest opinion. You know, it's definitely worth playing for sure. Um, yeah, that's that's my quick review. Wasn't actually quick, but you get the point. That's my review of Spider-Man 2. It's it's my this is my first game on my PlayStation 5, so it's like for me, I'm already kind of biased. Like no, this is fucking amazing. This is what I'm in for like the PlayStation 5. This is amazing. Holy shit. So I just enjoyed this game. So it's like I'm glad I actually took a couple days to kind of sit on it because you know I've looked at other videos about it. Like okay, like so I could try to kind of uh, compile my thoughts together about it, and this is kind of how I feel about it. So uh, yeah, I didn't write like a script and nothing like that for it. As I just kind of went off the hip. I just been up all night. I had a lot of thoughts racing in my head about this. So I'm just like, all right, let me just make a video about it. So here I am. Um, yeah, I think I honestly want to start making more videos like this of just like talking about games and reviewing them and walking back and forth in my apartment like a madman and just rambling about them. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this more. This is pretty fun. I like this. So, uh, you know, thanks for watching. And if anybody just happened to come across this, I don't know, like it's. I'm not expecting this to really be like, you know, like somebody just like adores this video, or whatever. As I literally just shoot from the hip about random thoughts in my head, which happen to be Spider-Man. So you know. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with whatever I decide to play next. So, peace out.